Caution, this game contains scenes of violence and gore, as well as depictions of criminal acts. These acts are strictly punished by law. Please do not attempt to imitate them. This game also contains themes of sexual violence and self-harm. This game is a work of fiction. Any relationship to real persons, groups, places, or crimes is coincidental. Gigalomaniac. Dude, I thought the fucking sound of the train was something outside of my house. The sky outside the train car was turning dark. The Yamanote line car was packed with salarymen heading home from work and students heading home from school. Yua Kusunoki and Yasujiban were standing next to each other, hanging onto the straps as the train rumbled and shook. They made a strange pair, and Yua had been glancing around for a while now to see if they attracted anyone's attention. She kept fiddling nervously with her hair and glasses. She'd just met Bon a few days ago and wasn't up to making friendly conversation with him. There was only one stop between Harajuku and Shibuya, but the 3 minutes it took to go between them felt far longer than it usually did. Bon was silently looking out the window. He made no attempt to speak to her. In Yua's mind, Bon wasn't a bad person, but he was a little scary. She had met several police officers after what happened with her sister. It didn't have a high opinion of any of them. Maybe that's what made her feel awkward around Bon. That was how she saw it anyway. Look, you get to the secret dungeon by beating the bandit on floor 15. Nigga, shut up! We're on the fucking train. Shut the hell up. I don't know where the bandit is, though. Two men standing near the doors had been talking in loud voices ever since she got on at Harajuku. They were making no effort to avoid disturbing the other passengers, and Yua was forced to listen to their conversation. The left side of the map. How can you miss the bandit? He's literally a Mexican, and he's on the left side of the map because the Democrats let him in. I can't tell the difference with... Okay, dude, I think the subliminal messaging is really getting to Bon. I mean, Bong, Bandit, and a policeman. Come on, dude, the fucking... Dude, they heard that he was looking into the GE rate, and they started to send shooters and gang stalkers after him. Oh my god. Bandit. Comparing a bandit to a policeman. They were wearing unfashionable clothes with bandanas on their heads. They wore fingerless gloves and had tightly packed backpacks on their backs. They were the type commonly called otaku. As an anime and manga fan herself, Yua wasn't really bothered by their Wait, she was being genuine about that? I mean, I'm not surprised. She had a fucking Evanescence poster on her wall. But she'd never been to Akihabara before. And she'd never seen someone dressed like such a stereotypical otaku before. An otaku, too, if you will. She took a few glances at this rare sight before realizing how rude she was being. She quickly looked away. In the seat in front of her was a teenage girl with brown hair and a blaze blue. She was typing into her phone, her fingers done up with gaudy, fake nails. Every time she moved her fingers, the strap on the end of the phone dangled. It had a tiny plastic chromotasm extend at the end of it. Yua saw what the girl was writing. The girl was holding it at a bizarrely flat angle. It was almost as if she was trying to make sure Yua saw it. Went to a party last night with this cop and it sucked. Lamest old dude I ever met. Hope he continuum shifts. Yua was the cross-tag battle. Yua was the girl's age, but she couldn't understand it at all. The lore was fucking convoluted as shit, and there was a novel with a trans person. It was probably just how some girls talked when they were on the phone, but to her it looked like some kind of code. Bong. Dude, they're sending crazy shooters after this nigga. Gang stalker after gang stalker. It's been 5 minutes of nothing but gang stalkers. 6 of nothing but gang stalkers, dude. What the hell? 4. He was holding a toy water pistol and pointing it at Bon. He was pulling the trigger, but water wasn't coming out. Bong! Bon gave the child a grin. His eyes weren't laughing at all. But the child didn't seem to care in the slightest. Nobu, cut it out. Someone who appeared to be the child's mother came over. She bowed shyly in Bon's direction. I'm sorry. Bon. Nobu, fucking shut the hell up before I beat your ass. It's those two niggas with the backpacks. They're low-key porters. The mother's voice was stern, but all she was doing was warning him. She didn't try to take the gun or make him put it down. I'm really, really sorry. No, it's fine. That little you can see he's upset, right, Nobu? Something seemed really strange about the whole scene to Yua. The mother was making an angry face at her child and looking apologetically at Bon, but that was all. Stop it, or I'll get angry. The child seemed completely oblivious to her pleas. He kept repeating the same phrase over and over again, like a broken toy. His mother still wasn't making a real effort to stop him. You see, if that was me, I would not be spanking my child or giving them any sort of physical correction, because I do not believe in that. Really, I'm really sorry. Bon, for some reason, made no effort to stop the child. This continued all the way to Shibuya. That was hell. That had to have been hell. That had to have been hell. Gang stalkers on your ass for a whole... From the time you take high school shit to the store till the time you get home. Wait, no, she's 18. Hold on. I'm not looking that up. Never mind. That might spoil it for me. Just know if she's 18, the joke is that she's bad shit. And if she's not 18, the joke is that I'm not a pedophile and I don't care for high schoolers. I mean, even if she is 18, I really don't care for high schoolers. The kid and his mom made no effort to get off. Relieved, Yua stepped off the train with Bon. She looked at him and saw he was chuckling. We have an emergency message. The Bangaman subway... The Hanzoman subway line is delayed due to a fatal accident on the tracks. We apologize for the inconvenience. Lately, I've been getting this weird feeling. Rows and rows of people were walking past them on the platform. As they joined the crowd heading for the Hachiko exit, Bon suddenly whispered to Yua, "This feeling like a bunch of people are stalking me." This nigga has gang stalkers like crazy. What do you mean? I mean, stuff like that happens a lot. People around me aren't doing anything special, but it feels like they're part of some grand scheme to get me. That's why Bon hadn't said anything about the child's mischief. Little things like that were happening all the time lately. If he let each one bother him, he'd go crazy fast. I'm probably just overthinking it. Not many people would be interested in a boring guy like me. I didn't think they'd actually use that word. But you know, gang stalking's a real thing. How is it different than regular stalking? The victim doesn't know what the stalker's after, or even who they are. They just feel like every day, no matter where they go, people are out there trying to harass them. That's how gang stalking works. It's low-key a form of gaslighting. Because since you don't know what the people coming after you are, what they want, and since they're just random people doing it, you look insane to everybody else. Now, a lot of people who are being gang stalked are just mentally unwell, but still, to the people who are actually being gang stalked, you look like you're not mentally well, because you just can't prove it. Is it possible they're just overthinking it? It sure is. It's hard to tell the difference between real thing and paranoia. In my case, though, I don't think that's it. For the past few days, I've been getting more direct attention. What do you mean? Anonymous threatening calls telling me to back off. Quite a few of them. Okay, maybe you should back the fuck off then, nigga. I'm sorry. My life is not worth getting at the shadow government. For some reason, Bond had a smile on his face as he spoke. Yua felt more scared than he seemed to be. She crossed her arms over her chest. Are you gay? It happens all the time to cops. He spoke casually, but as he regarded her, the look on his face became more serious. Has anything like that happened with you, Yua? No, I don't think so. If you see anything that feels even the slightest bit out of place, you tell me right away. It's a police job to keep you safe. The walking and hustling, bustling, it sounds like rain, so I take off my headset to see if it's raining, and then it's not. Okay. You realize that she may have gotten into something more dangerous than she thought. I mean, okay, even if it was just Takumi, and he had the DID, he still has 2009 dissociative identity disorder that makes him fucking genocide Jack from Danganronpa. I don't know what she thought was gonna happen. Like, if she really truly thought one dude was doing all of these murders just with an alternate personality, what the fuck did she think was gonna happen if he swapped personalities and came after her ass? Did she think she'd be fine? No, she'd be crucified. She'd end up like the lady who fucking chopped her hand, who bit her, gnawed her hand off. Except she didn't actually gnaw her hand off. You are a delusion. That's what Remy said, but I didn't have a clue what she meant. I ignored her and began to look at the houses around me. I remember this place. I'd never seen this place before. The house that should be there. The house that should be here wasn't. A house that shouldn't be there was. The gap between my memories and reality became more and more stark in the light of evening sun. Nothing's wrong at all. I said this aloud, desperately trying to deny the despair in my heart. That's right, nothing was wrong at all. I'd just gone down the wrong street. I was being silly. Nothing was wrong with the world at all. How could there be? I ran back the way I came and headed down the next street over. But again, there was a gap between my memories and what I saw. I realized my whole body was soaked with an awful sweat. It was like I was suffering from vertigo, like my legs weren't touching the ground. It felt like I was going to throw up. What's going on? My house! My house! I walked to elementary and middle school every day from here. In elementary school, I'd hold hands with Nanami and we'd go together. In middle school, I'd take a bike. Which middle school? Remy had caught up to me. Her voice was so quiet. What do you mean? Do you remember the name of the school? Of course I do. It's not even that far. It's... What was its name again? Huh? Huh? I couldn't remember. I'd gone to middle school, I remember that much, but the details weren't clear. It was like there was a fog in my head that was keeping me from seeing them. The name of the school, which class I was in, my teachers' names. I couldn't remember any specific names at all. That's impossible. I can't remember. Taku, you need to listen to me. What's in your memories isn't the home that was here. It's the idea that this is where your home was. Right? I felt like I was going to go crazy. Because those memories were created for you. Don't make that face! Remy's eyes were downcast. She looked sad as she lied to me. It was more stuff that I didn't understand. Stuff I couldn't understand. I gave up on thinking. You never went to middle school. I get it. This is all prank, right? I know you and Nanami's our friend or something. You're trying to trick me. Aw, man. You almost had me too. I was trying to laugh it off, but Rimi didn't even grin. I'm sorry. Now, I have to tell you things that are going to hurt you. Taku, you shouldn't exist. Don't lie to me! Rimi was lying to me. She was my enemy too. You were the one behind Crucified, weren't you? When I'd seen her then, it hadn't been a delusion at all. The new Jin killer wasn't the man I'd seen on TV. It was Rimi. She'd been watching me the whole time to make sure I didn't tell anybody the truth. That's why she stayed with me. You were there, covered in blood, so you're the killer. That was the delusion you desired. When a gigalomaniac's delusion becomes too powerful, it will sometimes blend in with other delusions around it. The delusions synchronized. She spoke, quietly, as if to make sure I heard. Her calm demeanor just made me even more upset. There were at least 4 delusions synchronized there that night. Yours, mine, the Nugent killers, and... I refuse to believe it! I cut her off. I put my hands tight over my ears. I closed my eyes. This is the delusion. That's right. It's a delusion like the ones I always have. No more delusions. Her voice was quiet and plaintive, but it was an order, and I gulped. Or, I'll have to erase you. You're going to kill me? Terror ran down my spine. In my mind, Rimi was changing from my savior into some strange creature I didn't understand. You're going to kill me, aren't you? I knew you were a murderer! Why do you keep looking like that? Biting your lip, looking down like you're about to cry. It makes it hard to get mad at you. Tell me it was all a lie. Smile and ask if you fooled me. And then we can go back and how things were before. I want to go back. Then what am I? A human created by a gigalomaniac's delusion, maybe. That's stupid. I have all my memories. Maybe I can't remember some details from middle school, but I just forgot, that's all. You were born 1.5 years ago. 1.5 years ago? That would be right when I started high school. That would mean I'm a baby, just 1.5 years old. I shouldn't be able to say any more than that. Baby talk. You were from the moment you were born. Are you telling me you saw it with your own eyes? Supposedly we were friends 1.5 years ago. Not that I remember it. You and I met a month ago. At the scene of the Crucified murder. I'm not actually a Suime student. Rimi was crazy. Rimi was crazy just like the rest of them. She was super crazy. Even crazier than Senna and Ayase. Then whose delusion am I? Tell me! Takumi Nishijo. Haha, yeah, right, I'm a delusion. You're telling me I had invented a delusion of myself? You just contradicted yourself. Yeah, that's bullshit! Or is this all a delusion of yours? Some crazy shit you thought up inside your head. Leave me out of it. I didn't want you to know. I didn't want you to come here. I should have tried harder to stop you, huh? She looked up. Her face were firm. Her eyes were gazing straight at me. They had a deadly serious look about them, and they were filled with light, like she didn't look like she was lying at all. But now, I think it's better that you know the truth. But this is a lie. This was all a lie. It had to be a lie. If it wasn't, I'd go crazy. Who would believe a person who suddenly told them they were a delusion? You should know that the things you do are slowly consuming another person's life. Right? What about Nanami? If I'm a delusion, then my sister and my parents are delusion too. And that's just crazy. Nanami's real. The way she was talking, it was almost like she knew Nanami. Were you the one who kidnapped Nanami? In a way, yeah. I was so focused on protecting you that I never thought they might go after her instead. I know who kidnapped her. I knew it. She was the demon girl. Just like I thought at first. I wanted Rimi at least to be on my side. That wish had kept me believing her for so long. But there were so many number things that should have made me suspicious. I kept closing my eyes to all of them, so I could believe her when she said she'd stay with me. But in the end, she was just like Yua. You're betraying me too, aren't you? That's right, yeah. I betrayed you. I hid a whole lot of things from you. I'm sorry. You can hate me if you want. It doesn't matter if you apologize. I don't believe you. I can't believe you. But despite what I was saying, I couldn't prove that I was real. All the strange supernatural things I'd seen so far came flashing back to me. Could I really be sure that what Rimi was saying was so crazy? Rimi walked up to me, held me tight. Caught off guard, I didn't resist. Her warmth, it had saved me when I was in trouble. It had kept my mind from breaking. It had taught me kindness. But now even as she held me in her arms, her warmth felt very far away. I have to go. Go where? To see the person who kidnapped Nana. I need to put an end to this. To what's going on with Nana. And other stuff too. As things stand, I can't keep you safe either. That's just irresponsible. You're saying all these horrible things to me. And then running away? Rimi moved away from me. A step, and then another step. Little by little, she put more and more distance between us. I'll come back. You stay in your room. And then we can talk about all sorts of fun things. You're allowed to be there, you know. Her voice was kind. After all the horrible things she'd said, how could she be kind again? But promise me one thing. No more delusions. Okay? Your delusions are very strong. The more delusions you create, the more it consumes the life of your real self. What? Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. She gave me a salute and a smile that seemed very, very out of place. But then right after that, silent tears began to fall from her eyes. She quickly turned her back to me and ran, shoulders shaking. I watched her go, stunned, and then collapsed to my knees.
All the colors seemed to have gone out of the world. There was no hope to be found. I'd been denied my very existence. My life had no meaning. Not even my death had any meaning. Rimi had gone and left my useless self behind. She was my enemy too. She'd been lying to me. And now that she'd told me everything, there was no reason for her to stay with me anymore. She's not coming back. Rimi had abandoned me because I'm just a delusion, supposedly. I'm just a monster. It didn't even matter. Nothing mattered. I didn't even have the strength to stand up. I still couldn't get any of what she'd said straight in my head. I was so shocked I couldn't even cry. The cold twilight wind was stealing the heat from my body. Even the little bit of warmth that Rimi had left was gone. I looked up at the sky for no reason at all, and the twilight had almost entirely turned to night.
This is the new one. It's as bizarre as the rest. Momose stared at the ghetto froggy keychain that Bon had bought and smiled.
でも可愛いじゃない
It's cute
それは
though.
新作じゃん
That's not the new one. It's the one from last week.
なんだっけ
What was it called again? Bon gave you a look that was begging for help. Teary-eyed Ghetto Froggy.
ああそうそうそう
Yeah, that's it.
ごめんね、ゆあちゃん。
Sorry, you.
こん
It
な
must have been
むさ苦しいお
rough
じさんに
hanging
付
out
き合
with
わ
a
されて
grumpy old guy
大
like
変だ
him.
ったでしょ
On an unrelated note, I like to imagine that somehow Yua's tie is connected to her skirt. It's like all one long piece of fabric that she has to weirdly tie around her neck and down, and then like step into it and then into the skirt or some shit like that. Oh, no.
ひでえなももちゃん
That's a mean thing to say, Momo. Not many men my age are as handsome and suave as I. Momose, however, was not interested in Bon's comments in the slightest. She ignored him and brought Yua a cup of tea herself. Bon sighed in the chair as she looked around the office. Frisia's employees usually worked late, but today they'd all gone home right as the workday ended. The schedule on the whiteboard showed that none of them were working overtime today. The office empty, it was quiet as midnight.
え
So, Momo, you looking to think
進
go
行
for
のこ
us?
と調べてくれたかい
Before he'd gotten on the train at Harajuku, Bon had called Momose to ask her to investigate the company.
う。その前に、
First, Momose gave Yua a happy
ゆあちゃ
smile.
ん、
Yua, when you finish your tea,
お茶を飲んだら帰った方がいいわ。
you should go home. Huh?
日も暮れたし、
It's late.
ご両
Your
親が心
parents
配
must
す
be
るでしょ。
worried, right? Yua could tell what Momose was thinking. But what they were about to discuss wasn't safe for an ordinary girl like Yua to
私の
hear.
こと
Are you worried
心
about
配
my
してくれてい
safety?
るんですか？
そうよ。
Yes, that's right. Momose's face took on a grave look and she nodded. Yua was grateful but shook her hand.
私
I'm not
帰りませ
leaving.
ん。
I'll do anything if it gets me closer to the truth about what happened to Mia.
なんだってするつもりです。
What if Mia ends up being a delusion the same way Takumi is?
あなたはこ
You
れ以上
shouldn't get
関わ
involved
るべき
any
じゃ
more
な
than
い
you already have.
私もとっくに
I'm a part of
当
this.
事者の一
I
人
have
です。
been for a long time. There was a strength in her words that made it clear she wasn't going to change her mind. Momose was surprised at this sudden, unexpected refusal.
意外と頑固ね
You're surprisingly stubborn.
まここでのけも
Well, it'd be cruel to leave her out now after all that's happened.
いざとなったら
I'll have the police provide protection if she needs it. Momose left out a deep sigh at Bond's unconcerned
ばあちゃん
attitude.
にそんな
Do
経
you
験
even have that kind of authority? I may not look it, but I work for Tokyo Metropolitan Police Section 1, the most famous department in the whole country.
あらそう
Oh, I see. Momose ignored him and turned to stare at Yua. She probably already knew that and doesn't give a fuck.
これから聞くことは
What you're about to hear is not to be shared under any circumstances. Understood?
これは
Your life is at stake here. You need to be very
そ
careful.
れを肝に銘じてね。
はい。
I understand. Yua nodded, and a tense look on her face. Momose looked at her seat and sighed one more time before settling back into her seat. Her... Not saying that.
で
So, what did you find out about Thinko? Your Honor, Legal Legends. Thinko!
バンちゃんの予感
Well, you were right.
って感じね。
Bon and Yua looked at her monitor from over her shoulder.
有限会社新興の
Thinko
親会社は
LLC is wholly owned
Technology.
subsidiary of Nozomi Technologies.
のぞみ
Nozomi Technologies?
のぞみグループ
NOAA Organization of Medical Instruments. The Nozomi Group, huh? That's a surprise.
新興は5年前
Thinko
に
got
望み
bought
グルー
out
プに
5
吸収
years
合併
ago,
さ
and
れたん
ever
だ
since
けど
then, everything they've
それ以
turned
降
out has been a
発
huge
売した
hit.
商品が次々と大ヒットしてるのよ。
His yucky expression is his trademark, and you can see it on full display in all projects. Bring Gero Froggy into your life today.
ゲロカイルンだけじゃないの。
It's not just Gero Froggy, they've sold handbags in China, shopping bags from Thailand, pants that make your legs look
で
longer.
この会社
So
は
what makes these
商
guys
品の売り出
special
し
is
方
the
が
way they do their
独特なの。
sales. They always go
い
all
つも
in
週
on a
末
new
に
product
新
right
製
on the
品を一
weekend.
斉に投入するのよ。
The weekend. Bond's ears perked up when he heard the word. Any relationship to the GE
必
rate?
然にしろ偶然にし
Whether it
ろ
was planned or a coincidence, Thinko's products are a hit because of the GE rate change. That much is clear.
前に見せた
You remember the GE rate graph I showed you before?
5年ぐらい前からずっと
I showed you how the
毎週末
GE
に
rate's
値
been
が
going
上が
up
ってるって
on
言
the
ったわけ
weekends for the past 5 years, right?
新
It
興が
matches
望み
right
グル
with
ー
the
プに合
timing
併
of
された
when
時期と
Thinko
ぴったり
was
一致
bought
する
out by the Nozomi Group.
進行が
You think
レートを
Thinko's
操作
screwing
して
with
る
the
と思
rate?
うか
進行自
I
体
don't
はそん
think
なに大き
so.
な会
I
社じゃ
know
ないから
so.
それは無理よ。
となる
Which means it would be their parent company, Nozomi. It feels like the Nozomi Group would be able to do it if they put
グ
enough
ループ総
resources
出で
into
取り
it.
組めばレート操作だってできそうじゃねえか
待って。
Wait, Nozomi's one thing, but the real interesting
進
thing
行が
about
興味深いの
Thinko
はそこ
is
だけじ
something
ゃないの。
else.
設立当初の
I
資
went
料にま
back
で
through the
遡ってみたら
documents for the company's
す
founding
ご
and
い
saw
大
a
物が
really
出て
big
きたの
name.
よ。
大物
A big name.
井ノ花構造。
Kozo Inohana.
はっは
He's a big shot in the Meiwa party, isn't he?
新興設立
He was
当時
still
は
a dim
まだ
lib
民
when
事党在籍時代だったね
Thinko was founded,
つ
though.
ながってき
It's
た
all coming together.
太田教授の
What happened with Professor Ota,
この前
the
の
earthquake a little while ago, Meiwa putting pressure on the media to censor anything about that connected to the GE rate.
GE レートのグラフ
And
のこと
about
だけ
that
ど
GE rate graph,
いろいろ調べてた
I
ら
looked into some things and found another little interesting pattern. There are two things she discovered so far about the GE rate. First, that it rose regularly on the weekends. It wasn't that big of an increase, and it went up on every weekend except on New Year's, during Golden Week, and during Oban. Second, that there was a huge rise during the earthquakes. The GE rate had shown an incredible rise during the earthquake 2 months ago when 8 people had died. And then 1 week ago when over 100 people had died. Wait, how was the earthquake 2 months ago? Wait, what? But Crucified was only a month ago. How was the earthquake 2 months ago? Oh, okay. No, I'm wrong earthquake, everybody. My fault again.
で3つ
And
目
then there's a third
こ
pattern.
の5年で4回
There
だ
have
け起
been
きてる
4 big rises in the
時
past
期は
5
どれも
years.
まちまち
They've all taken place at different
上昇
times.
値
The
は
rise
地震
isn't
の時ほど
as
じゃないけ
big
ど
as it was during the
結構
earthquake,
高いの
but still pretty big.
最初はこれが何を意味
At
しているのか
first,
分
I
から
don't
なか
know
ったん
what
だ
I
け
was
ど
looking at.
調べていくう
Then
ち
I
にこの
realized there was another event that
5
happened 4
回
times in the last
符
5
合するイ
years.
ベントに気づいた
イベント
What event?
もったいぶらさ
Don't keep us in suspense. What was it?
選挙よ衆
Elections.
参合わせて4度
The
行わ
4
れ
big
た選挙
rises
と
match
そ
perfectly
の4
with
回
the
の
4
GE レー
elections
ト上
held
昇
for
の
the
日は
upper and lower
完
houses
全
in
に
the
同
past
じだ
5
った
years. Bond frowned and stroked his stubble.
野党だった明和
The
党が
election where the
大躍
Meiwa
進
party went from being a minor player to a big party
4年
was
前
4 years ago, right?
そして
And it was
井ノ原
5 years ago when
構造
Kozo
が民主党を電
Inohana
撃的
suddenly
に
left the
離党して
dim libs and
明和
moved
党
to
に
the
移った
Meiwa
のは
party.
5年
Suddenly there was a very heavy silence between the three of them. Somehow, listening to you
お
talk
話を
has
聞い
made
て
me
いたら
scared.
怖く
Your
なってき
whispered
ました
voice quavering a little.
私もびっくりだわ
I'm surprised too. It's amazing to see it all
ここ
line
ま
up
で
like
キーワード
this.
がぴったり当てはまるなんてね
まだ状況
It's
証
still
拠
nothing
しか
but
ないな
circumstantial evidence, though.
それでも GE
The only reason we were able to get this far is because we knew about the GE rate.
知らなかった
If we hadn't known about it, we would have never had a clue. Bond took his fan from his belt and casually began to let it wave at his
ところで
face.
俺
Can
が
I
調
tell
べた
you
女
about all
子
the
高生の
fascinating
生態に
things
つ
I
い
learned
て
about
話
teenage
していいか
girls, by the way? Momose sighed and glared at him.
あのね
Listen, this isn't the
いき
time
な
for
りそんな
this.
くだらないこと言い
Especially
出すん
not
じゃ
with
ない
you
わよ
right there.
ね
Come on, don't be like that. Bond grinned, but his eyes weren't laughing at
青い
all.
セナについ
I'm
て
talking about one girl in particular. Actually, Sena Aoi.
え正しく
Or I
は
suppose I should use her real name instead.
と言うべきか
Sena Hatano.
なぜか
For
最
some
近
reason,
になっ
she
て
started using her
母親の
mother's
旧
maiden
姓を
name
使い始
lately.
めたんだよなその畑野セ
Sena
ナの父
Hatano's
親
father, Issei
畑野
Hatano,
一
is
世は
supposedly missing
今失踪し
and has
て
been
行
for a
方不
while.
明らしいんだ
But
が
before he vanished, she
のぞ
worked
み
for
テクノロ
Nozomi
ジーの元社
Technologies.
員なの
Huh?
どういうこと
What do you mean?
どういうこと
I
も
mean,
何
just
も
what I said.
そのまんまさ
Nozomi Technologies mostly makes medical device software. The Nozomi group got their start with them and went through a bunch of M&A until they were one of the biggest groups in Japan.
半年前
6 months ago, Sena Hatano's father, mother, and 1-year-old sister both died under mysterious
父親の失踪は
circumstances.
その直後だ
No, that really was 6 months ago. Never mind. I was gonna, like, I was gonna say, yeah. And that was when the experiment started, but no, that's when the experiment ended. Because the experiment started 2 years ago, and the baby died as an infant.
畑野瀬名本人も
And about the same
それ
time,
と前後して
Sena Hatsuno
当時預けられていた
herself escaped from the
とある
facility
施
she was
設を
being
脱
held
走
at.
する
施設
Facility?
天神寮
Divine Light Dorm, a non-profit child welfare and a correctional facility. At least that's what it looks to be on the surface. Wait, was Ayase also being held at a Divine Light? I was thinking about it, you know, because there was the same device on Senna's mom's head, but I didn't realize that it was probably the literal same place that Senna was at.
表向きって
There's more to it than
ス
that.
ポンサーがい
It
る
has a sponsor, the Cosmic Church of Divine Light.
転生振興会だったりする
転生進行
Cosmic Church of Divine Light. Almost say frowned and then grunted in annoyance. There's another name
ま
that's
た
bound to
面
cause
倒
a
な名前
mess.
が出てきたわね
ちなみに
Does that make you cause a mess? Divine Light Dorm went by another name until 2 years ago, by the way.
アークハートメディ
Arc
カル
Heart Medical
ど
Association.
んな偶然
I don't know if it's a coincidence, but Ayase Kishimoto, Bess, was there too.
岸本綾瀬も
What did I just say? Because fucking the dots were already connected for me. I just had to find out that it was a triangle instead of a fucking period pad.
畑野瀬名とは
Sena Hatsuno wasn't there at the same time as her, though. Vaughn leaned forward toward the two of them.
で
And here's where it really gets interesting.
アークハートメディカル
Arc Heart Medical Association is a mental health
メンタ
center.
ルケア施設
Unlike Divine Light Dorm, it took
精神
care
病
of
患者
mental
を治療してた
patients.
ところが2年
But 2 years ago, Arc Heart Medical Association suddenly became a non-profit child support center called Divine Light Dorm. They literally switched purposes specifically to hold Senna so that they could experiment on her mom. After experimenting on fucking all the kids like Ayase. I'm guessing that when they were Arc Heart, they were experimenting on kids en masse. But once they became the Divine Light Dorm, they were housing kids, but it was specifically to house like Senna and other children associated with the experimenters, while the experimenters did experiments on their family members. Like Senna's dad, Issei.
それによって精神科医
What
が
then
一斉に
happened?
解雇されたんだが
All the psychiatrists were laid off, but then everyone was hired immediately at the same
代々木
place,
にある
AH Tokyo General Hospital in Yoyogi.
ノータリン事件で殺され
That's
た
the
人が
hospital
勤
where
め
the
ていたのって
doctor was killed during the
そこの
brainhead
病院
incident.
でしたよね。
ああ
Yeah,
Takashina.
Fumio Takashina. He was a
確かに
psychiatrist at AH
総合
Tokyo
病院
General
精神
Hospital.
科医だついでに言うと
And what's more, the head of the hospital is supposedly very close with Inohana.
また井ノ原議員ね
Inohana again.
ユアちゃん君が追ってた
You and that
日常
boy you were so interested in, Takumi Nishijo, has been to AH General Hospital at least 3 times in the last month.
そう、
Really?
警察がずっ
The
と
cops were tailing him the whole time, there's no doubt about it.
しかも西条には
Nishijo was
数
also
年前にその
hospitalized there
病院
several
に入
years
院した
ago
記
too.
憶まである
Name of his doctor was
彼の
Fumio
主治医は
Takashina.
高階文夫だ不思議なのは
The hospitalization records are strange though. Began his stay at the hospital at age 10. The record stopped 2 years after that.
その記録が途切れてるんだが退院した記
But
録
there are no
誰
hold
か
on
の
what? But there are no records of him ever
改
leaving.
ざんしたのかしら
Because he wasn't real at all, ever. Well, he is real because Shogun is probably the real Takumi, in quotes. Did somebody alter them, I wonder? I couldn't say, I wasn't able to look into that deeply. Oh, and there's one more thing to know about Sena Hatsuno. There's a student she's been hanging out with a lot recently, Kozue Orihara. She's a classmate of Nishijo's who's transferred here about a month ago. She's got a history of her own. Orihara's father works for Nozumi Group Company. Oh, fuck, it always goes back to the She used to live out in Hiroshima. Then there was a nasty incident about 100 years ago. About 60, 80 years ago. And we're attacked by 60 years ago. We're attacked by an unknown party and badly injured. They all had their right arms severed with a sharp blade. Morihara was there when it happened. They thought she was the one who did it, but they couldn't arrest her. The weapon didn't exist. There's a rumor. There's a rumor that's why she had to move here. The weapon didn't exist, not that they couldn't find it. It didn't exist. They couldn't even find out what was used. From their circumstances, nobody but Orihara could have done it. But even if she was the one who did it, there was nowhere she could have taken that weapon out from, and then nowhere she could have hidden it. Some people were seriously suggesting it might be a kamaitachi, a magic trick where you make a sword appear out of nowhere. Maybe so, right? It's really creepy. Bitch, don't sit here and act like you don't got one of these yourself. Yua had her arms wrapped around her body like she was trying to stop herself from shaking. Bitch, you see, look, that's her tail. She know her ass is lying her ass off. She know for a fact she got one of them shits of her own right in her back pocket. She just goes, It's like there's some greater will somewhere that's behind this. Did you say great will? Cops like me don't really believe in conspiracy theories, but this time I'm fucking inclined to. The Meiwa party and then the Nozomi group, these are the two where we think the GE rate is involved, huh? And I bet if we went looking, the Cosmic Church of Divine Light would be involved too. I don't hear good things about them. Momose took a sip of her tea and shrugged. You're awful at your job, Bond. Instead of doing your assigned work, you're investigating this shit. It's your fault for telling me about the GE rate, you know? Yeah, but it's not worth getting kicked off the task force. You really could have been a lot smarter about this, you know? She wasn't blaming him, though. It was a very roundabout way of giving him a compliment. Momose gave him a lot of grief, but in her own way, she respected him. I just think she's pretty. Oops, got a call. Bond's phone began to ring from an unlisted number. Wow. Huh. Hello? There was a heavy static on the line. Bond moved the phone away and, okay. Must be somewhere really bad reception, he thought. Hey, who is this? Back off. It was an unknown caller who had been threatening him lately. The voice sounded mechanical. They were using a voice changer. Bond chuckled. Oh, you? Would you give me your name? Back off, huh? What am I supposed to back off from? I need specifics. This was always where it ended. They say back off twice and then they hung up. Every time. It was the same pattern. No matter what Bond said, they never spoke another word. But today was different. If you don't. Huh? Bond. Who's there? Sorry, I screwed up. Only then did Bond figure out who was on the other end of the phone. Is that you, Sua? Yeah. They kidnapped me out of nowhere. Who got you? Where are you? I don't know. They had a black face mask on. It's just one guy, right? Haha. Hey, are you okay? Help me. I'm at Sua. Hey, Sua. But no matter how much Bond yelled, nothing more came from the phone. He hung up. Momose and Yura were looking at him concerned. Did something happen to Sua? Something is happening! Also, rest in peace, the goat. Bond stood up and lightly slapped himself on the cheeks. They took Sua hostage. Looks like he's at AH Tokyo General Hospital. Is it the Meiwa party? I don't know, but this looks bad. You should call for backup. If I make this a big deal, Sua's a dead man. I'll go myself. Bond put his fan on the desk in front of Momose. Then he looked at each of the women, at the lady and the child, in turn. There was a bold look on his face that was nowhere to be found a moment ago. You two need to go hide somewhere safe. Got it.